This is Review Your Gear Radio with your host Chris Husted and Jason Renner. Coming to you with the latest topics, reviews, and techniques for hunting and fishing in the Midwest. And here they are, Chris and Jason. Take it away, boys.
Ew. Review Your Gear Radio. I'm Chris Husted.
Jason Renner.
This is season... Oh, I have it backwards. I have 10-4. This is season 4, episode 10. It's the I can't believe I bought a camper episode. Jason, fill us in, sir.
So, I don't know, I might be a little crazy, but went and purchased a camper.
Which is kind of a thing you do if you live in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Well,
you have a boat and a camper.
Correct. And I'm going to be brutally honest with people. My wife has been begging me for a camper for 5 years now.
Okay.
You know, and I just, okay, I got a 12-year-old and I have a soon-to-be 10-year-old. And how many more years do I have left to make memories? And that's...
For your oldest?
Yeah.
About maybe one?
Yeah.
Before she turns 13, right?
Yeah.
And then it changes.
It changes. Anyway. You know, it's all about that and giving them some good times. And the other thing for me is I camped all the time, and it's a good remembrance of my father. So,
you know, camping, I mean, as you know, we camp a lot. Well, I shouldn't say it. The previous years, we barely camped with COVID. Well, anyway, that's a whole nother story. But through the years, we've had a lot of campers. We've done a lot of camping. It's kind of, it really helps because, you know, with our family, everyone's doing their own thing always. And it's hard to get everyone together under one, in one room together, except for maybe dinner for a minute. So,
yeah. So, I mean, that's kind of the reason why I did it. I didn't go the new route. I went. Got a new to us, as I call it, new to us.
That's not a dumb decision because I feel, and I could be way off. Someone could tell me a more accurate number because I'm guessing. When you buy a brand new camper and drive off the lot, it probably depreciates, what, 20, 25%?
I know it's probably a lot more than a car. I mean, because it just becomes used.
Right. Because nobody wants to pay a lot of money for a used camper.
Correct.
So, and I know because I bought used campers until this last one I bought new. But the only reason I bought new is I was going to keep this one a while. So
how long have you had yours?
I've had this one 8 years.
Favorite feature of your camper?
The auto level. For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. It's, you know, when I show up to camp, I back into the spot, unhook the fifth wheel. Okay, we'll start there. That's obvious. That just takes a second. I walk up to it, I turn it on, and I push auto level. 2 minutes later, my 40 and a half foot camper is level. And then I pull out the slides, which there's stupid 5. And then turn on the fridges, AC, away we go. But yeah, I've gotten so used to this camper that I can literally set it up in like 10 minutes, like except for laying out the outdoor carpet and stuff like that. Yeah. But I could literally have the camper ready in 10 minutes.
So the outdoor carpet that came with mine, not real happy with it.
How come?
It was kind of, there's a one thinner piece, and then there was almost like a area rug was the 2 pieces to make up kind of the front of it.
Okay.
And I'm just thinking, you know, I have to roll up 2 separate things. That maybe one bigger piece.
That's what we have. You've seen ours. Yeah. It's nothing special, but that's pretty standard for...
I might just go see how much a big piece of AstroTurf is at Menards. Yeah, put that down.
Really? You're going to put down AstroTurf?
Yeah.
Why not just grab one of the camper rug thingies?
I like to golf off of it or want to.
No, seriously. I'm serious. Like, why you got to go against the grain there? Because remember, you're going to roll that thing up and then store all that AstroTurf.
It's not that heavy. It's plastic.
Well, you're right, but it takes up room when you roll it up, right? Okay.
How much room does yours take?
Very little, but we do have quite a bit of storage underneath the front bedroom and that compartment there.
That's where I have is underneath our front bed, which is a full slide. I have that.
Do you have does yours have a bedroom? Like, is it a door? Is it shut?
Yeah, it's got a door.
Okay. Because our previous ones never had doors until this one.
It does have, like, I don't know, you know how the top sliding barn doors are so common now in houses?
Yep.
It's got, like, the barn door slide on it.
Interesting.
To a full bedroom.
So, Jason, you're going to learn this, but you probably know some already. What are some camper unspoken truths?
It's a lot of work.
Campers are a lot of work.
And the other thing...
And they're money pits.
They're money pits. But the other thing, too, is, dude, I've pulled things before. I respect truckers because how many people, the guy that pulls beside you while you're pulling your camper, and then instead of getting up the road and he sit there and you're, because you're worried about, oh my God, is the wind factor gonna make me fish tail onto this guy? It's like, I kind of, you get a little respect for truckers and the fact of what they deal with when you pull something that big.
If you're eventually, you're going to end up doing what I did. At some point, you're going to end up with a fifth wheel and a diesel. I'm just telling you, like, when you start towing stuff a lot, it's unavoidable.
Oh, my dad had a diesel all his life. So, I'm pleasantly surprised how well the Yukon, with the 6.0, and it had the transmission intercooler and everything it built into it when I bought it. It handled it quite well,
with the exception of the big hill.
Except for the big hill
between Wilton and Washburn. Everyone that knows that lives on this area is like, I know that hill, especially when you're going south.
Yeah.
There's hills both way, but south, it's a legit hill. So, upcoming and recent fishing tournaments, sir.
We're coming off the DWC.
That's a couple weeks ago already. That's old news.
You got the Four Bears.
That's on the 20th. Isn't that the same day as your Salmon Derby?
Trout and Salmon Derby's Kakawea on the 20th. So we'll be fishing tournaments on complete opposite ends of the lake.
Which reminds me, I'm bringing up an off-topic subject for listeners. By the way, if anyone wants to contact us here at Review Your Gear, it's reviewyourgear@gmail.com. I'm looking into some tournaments next year in Minnesota. I just want to break up the fishing monotony of fishing the same lakes, same systems, and I want to go east, maybe even south to South Dakota, because next year I'm considering finally doing all 4 casino cups, which of course one's at Mobridge.
I'm going to tell you one that I've done in the past that was fun, and that's the Pollock Men's Tournament.
That's right. Yep. I don't know if I want to do 2 tournaments in Mobridge though. I know that would sound Pollock.
No, that's Paul, yeah.
But it's
kind of. It's 2 different stretches, though.
Is there boundaries in the men's?
Yes, I think it's just north of Pollock, or just north of Mobridge.
All the way to the board.
All the way to the board.
Yeah.
And to me, it's more like fishing our, State Line Resort, Landers area. It's to me, it's a crank bite down there. You gotta run cranks, but I like the way it's run. I like the Calcutta, the fish fry downtown is awesome. It's a super I think it's
I've had a lot of people tell me that, and that's a 2-day tournament too, right?
And it's run as well as the DWC.
Well, okay, that's saying a lot. So that's one to consider. But again, if I'm going to do the Casino Cup, I'll be in Mobridge already. Well, then I'll have to buy a license twice, right?
The other one to always think about is be kind of stupid fun would be the Walleyes Unlimited tournament out of Fort Peck.
Oh, I'm not ready for Peck. That's just too big of a reservoir to break down. You know what I'm saying? Like, where do you start? I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not afraid or intimidated because that's why I want to go fish outside my comfort zone in new water. But if you fish a lake, well, I'll take a prime example. I have a buddy that's trying to talking me into fishing a lake, on Leech Lake in Minnesota next year for a tournament. I fished Leech Lake twice as a kid. So I remember it vaguely out of Walker and stuff like that, but I don't really remember the lake. So but that's more of it's a big lake, but it's not Fort Peck, right? Well, you know, you can still break it down in a week.
Pretty sure you can get some scouting information from a guy that's out there right now.
Well, besides Permo, I'm just saying, you know, that's but the guys, again, I hate to go into an off topic, but seems like the guys that are running active imaging, active target, LiveScope, whatever you want to call it, are kicking butt out there. Some of those tournaments, it's the same guys up in the top 5 almost every tournament.
Well, let's take a look at this. Is that what's Max Wilson's secret? I mean, the dude's tearing up every tournament.
Yeah, but have you been paying attention to the minors? The minors are getting owned by that group. Tom Wins, you know, even Bricko from JT, they won the last one. What's that? I know Win quietly is one of the better. He's only been fishing for like 7 years. Are you familiar with that? The Tom Wynn story?
No.
Really interesting. Long story short, he wants to be a bass angler. He's just kind of biding his time but he's just owning. I mean, he's up in the top 5, if not one of the winners. I think he took second in the one that Brickle and his partner just won. So Wynn's always in the mix over there in Minnesota. Excellent, excellent, excellent guys when it comes to technology. That technology in tournaments, it matters these days.
It's a hot topic.
Absolutely. Let's have some tales from the Chub Tank.
Tales from the Chub Tank.
I have a new chubbing partner, Scott. We worked together. We went on Google Earth and Google Maps, satellite version, of course, found a whole bunch of chub bridges on the eastern part of the state, dialed him in, and sounds like he's going to have more than enough chubs. So, and right by his house, so he's not going very far. In fact, he went to a creek locally, like just to get his chub water, and he casted a bobber while he was getting chub water, and it went down. Got a chub. Got 3 chubs, actually, while he was just getting chub water. Point is, I'm envious of those guys out east. They got chubs compared to us out west. And so our chubs this weekend. Now, we are going to be rigging them a way I've never even thought of before or done. So we're going to be trying some new stuff with chubs. Is it going to work? No idea. Might be a complete waste of time. We might just drown 6 chubs and call it a day, but we're going to try some different stuff.
But isn't that how evolution of doing things, that's how it's done. You got to try it out.
You know, you're right. Historically, on the Missouri River reservoirs, you want chubs. However, this year, I swear, they want small stuff. Leeches, minnows, like fatheads, crawlers. When I'm running cranks this year, I'm not having much luck on big stuff. It's all small stuff.
Well, your best number 9 has never ever been your best bait.
No, and that's as big as I go. It's like a 9 flicker minnow.
9 flicker. I mean, let's be honest. That's been your best bait
this year. It has.
I think it has to do with the hatch, and there's
Oh, absolutely.
little smelt in it.
Well, you look in your live well, what they're puking up, it's like 3-inch, maybe 3.5-inch smelt, or it's young of the year fry.
And what I'm hearing on the salmon bite is it's all on needlefish, which a needlefish is just a
Small.
thin little bait.
Right.
I mean, it's a small target. So, makes sense. I mean, is it the only thing? But no, I don't think so. But you match the hatch.
Right. No, absolutely.
So,
But when it comes to fry smelt, there really isn't anything to match. What do you match a fry smelt?
I mean, because they're small.
They're very small.
Like
I took a picture, remember, of one and posted it on the Facebook page. It's
I
really small.
I think that's why at times slow death works so well.
Because it's small bait. It's just a
Small bait,
piece
and
of crawler. Yeah, yeah.
It's like a wounded smelt. Because I think it's more of a reaction bite than it is smell.
Well, at any rate, small baits this year. Small baits. So, have you been paying attention to the Musky tournament trail and Garmin XR LiveScope getting banned?
Well, they banned everything.
Well, you're right, but that's what brought up the topic, I guess.
Garmin and Humminbird at ICAST, which was a couple of weeks ago, released their active or live target, which is meant to target fish. It's almost like a 360 live, meant to find and pinpoint certain fish, certain size fish. It's just like that. And then Garmin rolls out this XR,
which is long range, right?
Which is, you're seeing pods. This is a guy like you. This is a troller's dream. You put that on your front trolling motor, you could see 500 feet in front of you and 100 feet up to the side. I mean, you can target fish. I mean, oh, hey, there's fish over there. I mean, this is it's unbelievable what this technology, and it's, again, what's next? We always say, what's next?
Right.
And
or can you get it?
Price tag. No, too.
What is the new XRs or the
2400 without the sonar box? If you need a sonar box, it's 2600.
Okay. Well, I'm not surprised, really.
And I think the you can only, the Humminbird Live you can only use with the Ultrex. It's got to hook up to the Ultrex system. I think that's $2,000 too.
Okay.
For the controller and everything.
I kind of figured it out that if you want to get a 12, like a Lowrance, if you go the Lowrance route, a 12 and the active target, you're looking about 5-ish. Yep. Hey, dogs, my dogs always choose the best moments to fight and play. But yeah, it's
everybody kind of gets me. Well, why do you like Garmin? Okay, I'm the everyday Joe, and I like the fact that I can buy a 9-inch Garmin and a LiveScope for $2,600.
Okay, but you want bigger than a 9, I feel, if you're going to spend the money on that technology. Yeah. You need a 12.
I mean, but even a 12 is $2,400. Touchscreen. I mean, you're getting into that Humminbird price range to the Helix, but the difference is the Garmin's got touchscreen. Given Hummingbird's mapping is still the best.
Right, that's the only reason I use mine.
Yeah, it's still the best. But I think Garmin's is close. They bought out Navionics. I wish they'd go back to the guys that, Navionics used to be the best. And I don't know what happened.
Lake Master. I'm just saying. So let's talk about when live imaging really shines. So obviously when fish are shallow, it's the most ideal.
Or I think where these guys are really keying in on like Leech Lake and stuff is when they're on reefs,
Mm-hmm.
on rock. When you can learn to read those fish in between the rocks and just power cork them or
Right.
cast,
Jigs or
whatever to them. I mean, I think it's a game changer. I mean, if you know how to read your electronics, it's unbelievable the detail you can see in this stuff.
Yep. I'm looking forward to it. Again, I'm waiting until next year. I just not going to pull the trigger this year, but over the winter and the spring, I got to figure out what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to sell my 212s.
Oh, your HDS 12s, the second gens?
And I think I'm going to get 212 lives hooked to active target. So it's not going to be cheap.
No, but here's my question for you. The fact, other than the mapping on the helixes, the fact that they're not touchscreen. Okay. The Ransom Garmin, does that bother you at all? No, it doesn't?
Not at all. I don't use the touchscreen enough yet. In fact, whenever I touch it accidentally, the first thing I do is hit clear cursor because, it's like, whoops, I accidentally touched the screen. But no, seriously, I don't use my technology in that regard enough the way I fish yet.
I know I'm going to find myself on my brother's boat because he's got 12-inch helix on the dash.
Yep. Right.
And the screen.
We did find out, like I did tell you about over the weekend, a new way to fish using the technology we do have. Pretty interesting. We're going to be trying some weird stuff pre-fishing this week.
Another one I'll throw by afterwards.
Okay. Secret.
Secret.
Uh-oh. Crazy. We'll be right back here on Review Your Gear Radio. And we're back here on Review Your Gear Radio. So, Mr. Renner, let's get a salmon fishing report. What's going on with the Salmon?
Oh, it sounds like it's Fort Packett's going. Like Hawaii is going.
I never hear anything about Hawaii salmon bite. Why is that?
They got some nice fish. Dude, they got some 20-plus pound fish coming.
Really?
So, and then, of course, Peck's got some 20-pound fish. They got the lake. They got the Cisco's established on the southern end of the reservoir or the northern end of it. It's just, that's what feeds those big walleyes on Peck. And that's why, I'll be honest, that's why that state record keeps getting cracked every spring in North Dakota. Is the lake herring and the Cisco.
I was going to say the lake herring too. I'm hearing a lot about them.
Yeah. So, they're deep though. I mean, it's definitely more of a downrigger, or you can run number 3 dipsies. You can get down to that. It's anywhere from 80 to about 115 right now. Typical colors, Montana, if you're looking for colors to run, it's whites and blues. That's kind of more of a Cisco pattern. Except for the Lakers seem to like bright colors out there. The Lakers out there really like chartreuses. But South Dakota, they got more of a green. It's clarity, or if it's just the colors they run. Of course, Kakawea, it's lots of whites and blues. And I've heard a few fish coming on herring finally. I haven't heard too many coming on herring. We do run some herring out here. I don't hear a whole lot being herring run elsewhere. Almost like to use the meat rig herrings out in the Great Lakes. It's a kind of a different version.
When we used herring the time I was out of Portland on the Columbia, all herring on that. That was years back.
So did you guys use them on what was called mooching rigs, or did you guys just run cut bait herring?
He it's like he put the herring on the flasher, like he strapped it on. It was weird. He had a really weird, but it worked. It worked. We had our limited salmon, and then we were done quick. But I don't remember exactly. I'd have to look back, but I remember him taking fishing line and strapping it to like a flasher, and I'm not kidding you. I know you're thinking this is weird, but
We used to take, like, we cut off chunks of herring and tie it to our squids.
okay.
You sew it onto the squid,
Okay.
to get that
Scent.
on it.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. But again, I'm such a novice when it came. It was a paid for trip for the company. I just showed up and, you know,
And there you were running probably 10 ounces of lead on the bottom.
I don't remember exactly what
And
weights we're
bouncing.
using, but yeah, we weren't using downriggers.
No. And were you guys in the Columbia?
Yes.
Probably around Buoy 10.
I couldn't tell you. I was outside of Portland. That's all I know.
Gotcha. If you want to go to, there's the Buoy 10 report.
Okay.
You have a little flashback to when you were out there. Because now's an interesting time to go on there because they talk about it, show highlights. But usually they're using almost like a 3-way rig.
Yep.
They use a 10-ounce weight.
Yep.
And then they use line counters, and then they put it on the bottom, reel about 3 feet up, and then they just put them. A lot of guys use your Flobies out there.
Folbies?
Flobies. Flobies. But aren't they based out of Washington?
I cannot remember where they're based on. That could be.
A lot of the guys use those out there, and they just wait for that and put the clicker on, and they troll. Those guys all use either like Hughes Crafts.
Yep.
Or a lot of them got like modified tillers.
Okay.
It's kind of some different boats out there. It's kind of neat to see the difference.
That's what we were running as a tiller.
Yeah. A lot of guys use tillers out there.
Well, since we're in the mood to talk reports, let's have a Mille Lacs Minute.
This is your Mille Lacs Minute. Of course, you are in the time period of July 16th through August 30th. All walleyes must be released immediately. This has been your Mille Lacs Minute.
Sweet, you cut lakes out of Mille Lacs. Nice work.
I remember this time.
Good for you. Good for you.
It's when I have a Red Bull during the broadcast.
This is true. So, what is the best Leadcore fishing combos or best Leadcore rod or reel? And why, sir?
See, I've been struggling with this. I think you almost need a little stiffer rod, don't you?
Well, kind of. But at the same token, you still want a little bit of a tip to read because the Leadcore, depending on what you're running for a bait, like if you're running a crankbait, you still want to see a little bit of the jiggle on the tip from the crankbait. So if it gets a weed or something on it, you can tell it picked it up.
Gotcha.
That's one thing, because usually when I'm running Leadcore, it's cranks. Not always, but usually.
What are you using mainly for? Are you using your fluorocarbon for your beads?
Yes. I use Seagar Red Label. I use 12-pound test. And 15 is what I'm using for my Power Pro. So I use a 12 on the fluorocarbon.
Okay.
I run about 20 feet.
And are you still liking what brand was it? Tough Line?
Of the fluorocarbon or the Leadcore? Yeah. No, it's 30 feet of color. I swear the stuff I had before was 25, but 30 feet. It's really thin. I don't know. It's good stuff.
Good.
I do like it. For reels.
What size reel?
I like a 47 series reel. So
47, 45.
My Leadcore reel of choice right now. I've been running the Daiwa Sea Lines 47s. I can get 10 colors with the backing and the leader, of course, and if it fills the reel about perfectly.
Okay. For
10 colors, so I can get that bad boy down 50 feet without even worrying about the dive of the crank.
That's pulling deep.
Yeah, if I need to.
Yeah.
Otherwise, of course, I use 5s or 8-ounce snap weights. Just depends on the scenario. But
so and I'm completely naive to this, but would you ever think about running lead and a snap weight just to have less lead?
Why?
Just a question.
I'm saying why because I see people talking about this. It's like putting a snap weight on Leadcore kind of does away with what Leadcore is trying to
Wouldn't
do.
kink it too?
I don't know. The reason you use Leadcore is because you want to long line and free line a bait. By adding a snap weight, you can do that on Power Pro. You don't need
Correct.
to use.
And wasting a
Kind of, it's just a waste. And I put my Leadcore on 10.5-foot Shields Extreme rods.
okay.
So I have 10.5s, and then I'm gonna get 2 more setups at some point, and I'll probably put them on 5s.
Gotcha. The Shields ones shine, and those Peregrine ones by Eagle Claw really shine, I think.
Oh, I mean, I'm not sponsored. I'm just telling. Shields makes great trolling rods. There's a reason why so many people run them. They're solid rods. They just work.
Yeah. The reason I don't run them for salmon is they don't make one for salmon. They don't make a 2-piece 8'6" or a 9 for downer.
Shields, where are you on this? You have everything else. Get on it. Let's have some headlines. Seriously, did you see these poachers in Mississippi? So, what is it? They had 600 catfish were captured in a Mississippi River fishing bust. 5 men from Mississippi were nabbed in the bust and could face jail time.
665 blues.
Correct. The daily limit of 6 times the limit. Oh, that's ugly. They didn't even have a fishing license either.
Oh, jeez.
So there could face possible 90-day jail sentences and additional fines of roughly $500. That's a joke. Come on. Yeah. That's a slap on the wrist, I
mean, to think about this too, blues reach 20, 30, 40 pounds pretty easily. I mean, if you got 600, there could be...
What do you need that much meat for?
That's probably over 1,000 pounds of fish.
No, seriously, they have to be commercially somehow moving it. Have to be. There has to be some greed involved there.
To make that big of a risk, there's got to be some monetary value behind it.
Crazy. So Florida is paying out for pythons. There's python hunters going on all over in the Escalades of Florida. Why? Because they're starting to kill alligators. Those pythons are so big.
And poodles.
Well, you're comparing a poodle to an alligator? But seriously, it's a big deal. Look at the size of that sucker. They're
freaking reproducing. They have no natural predators. I mean, it's a bad deal down there, and they're overrunning all the natural species. They're killing the native snakes. They're killing native wildlife. I mean, it's a bad deal, and this is all from
someone released them, right?
Yeah, or somebody was importing them illegally and got caught, and just they're mainly Burmese pythons, and they I guess they're just mass producing the Everglades like that.
Well, again, you said it. There's no predators.
No natural predator.
And this is cool. Shriners are putting on kind of a fishing clinic for special needs kids out of the Twin Cities. 19 patients from the Shriners Hospital got a special day of fishings at a special trout farm pond just last month. So I have a buddy who is a Shriner out of Fargo. I hate to say it, but Shriners are kind of a dying thing, but they do such great work.
Oh, they've always done great work. Between them and St. Jude, and I mean, there's no costs to the families when they're in their hospitals, which is just awesome. I just think it's great, and it's one of those things where did Fargo ever have a parade downtown or anything like that?
Oh yeah, the Shriners Parade?
Yeah. Because like us for the band night parade and the Oktoberfest or whatever parade, whatever, there's always the Shriners always had their little cars with their
Yep.
hats
Yep.
on. It's just something that's ingrained into your mind from a kid. Was, I know it's called El Zago's Shriners here.
Yep.
I mean,
That's what it was in Fargo.
Yeah, I'm sure it's the same group. And, they donated money to the Gateway to Science Center. They just do great things. So support the Shriners.
Correct. Sir, what is the best coolers for camping or just in general? Best coolers.
Okay, I know everybody out there pimp my ride, aka Yetis. Everybody wants to talk Yeti. There's so many coolers out there
That have knocked off Yeti.
that knocked off Yeti. Well, I'll be honest, they're original. I was a little hesitant. I did buy a Members Mark 1 a couple of years ago. Was not impressed with it. In fact, I think it's probably going to be a Chub cooler now.
Got a few of those.
Hashtag minnow tank, whatever.
Right.
That's what it's going to become. I was entered in a contest for work and I won an Arctic cooler. Got one sent to me. Got to pick out a red, white, and blue one. Had to go with that one.
Nice.
But, dude, I put a 16-pound bag of ice, and then I put 2 of what they call 3-pound blocks of the permanent Arctic ice on the bottom, and I did not have to get another bag of ice
All weekend.
all weekend.
It did help that it was in the 50s, too.
But it was in the 70s, but I'm just saying, that is, to me, I've never had a cooler do that.
Right.
I mean, live up to the billing that
Traditional coolers just don't cut that.
No. And given it seals, when it seals, it's
Sealed.
It's sealed. And, I know you bought one today. What brand did you get?
I cannot remember the brand. It was an off brand, but it had the same molding,
Roto molding.
Yeah, whatever. It'll work. It's supposed to keep ice 9 days, but I'm assuming that's if you don't open it.
Yeah.
But at any rate, it'll work. Not a Chub cooler. This one will actually. Well, my camper. Sometimes the fridge just holds in the upper 30s, and I don't know why it doesn't get down a few more degrees, but I want to keep my meat colder, so we're gonna probably keep it in the nice coolers camping this week.
I'm gonna tell you, go buy a couple of those permanent ice blocks.
Okay.
Walmart, or go see if they have them at Costco. Just because those. And the other thing I'm gonna tell you, and pre-chill your stuff before you put it in the cooler.
But you're
everything, even drinks,
yeah,
drinks and everything, because it takes so much of that energy to cool that stuff down.
Yeah.
So even if you shove it in the fridge for a day just to get it down there before you put it in the cooler, it really helps. Just simple little tips like that. But I'm going to say I'm really impressed with my Arctic cooler. In fact, if I had to order another one today, I would absolutely drop the $300 to do it. So,
fair enough, sir. What's cooking on the stone?
What's cooking on the stone?
So we're both kind of dorks because we both bought 17-inch portable Blackstones.
Correct.
For camping.
I ordered a hose for mine. It's not here yet.
Okay.
I got a quick valve
on the
outside of my kit.
So you're not going to use 1-pounders?
I used it and
for like one time.
I blew through 1.5 seasoning it. So I was doing the math.
Right.
And I don't want to mess with that.
Yep. Understood.
I mean, I'm going to still keep that elbow, for, let's say we take it ice fishing or something.
Yep.
But as far as when I'm in my camper, I'm going to use that hose. The one thing I did find out is you can't plug it directly into that regulator on those 17s.
Okay.
Because coming out of your
plug camper, the 1 gallons or the 1 pounds?
The 1 pound, there's that adapter on there. If you plug that in directly, there's a regulator. coming out of your camper, those are already regulated, and the double regulator won't work.
Oh,
So, little tip out there: you need to run the hose direct off campers because they're all regulated coming to it.
you must have learned that.
Yes.
So, long camping trips, what are some of the things you forget?
Extra cotter pins.
Oh, yeah?
I mean, given our camper wasn't used last year, I broke a few cotter pins. I mean, I think that they're meant to break. I mean, that's why they're there. They're meant to break if there's a lot of stress on them. But I was running into Scott's to get some cotter pins this weekend because I broke a few and essential things. You know,
Right.
One of them was the foot that my camper, the electric lift foot.
Yep.
One of those busted, and it wouldn't hold the pin as I'm moving up and down in place well, or if I traveled with it. Wasn't going to risk it. I was going to have that foot come off.
Understood.
So
for me, it's always like condiments, like butter, like stupid stuff. I always forget. Because like you know you have the ham but no burger, peanut butter no jelly. Yeah. So we actually got smart, I think, on this trip because we're going to be out there for 9 days. I started a Google Sheets and spread it and shared it with my buddies camping, and we basically broke down each meal, what we're eating each night, and then broke it down into how much food we need.
yeah,
So we know exactly how much burger, how many steaks, how many brats, all of that stuff. And we're getting it all from 3B. And lunch meat.
and lunch meat.
And lunch meat. Gotta have lunch. But
Did
we're
you
getting
figure out your sandwich situation? What you're going to do?
yeah, we're gonna get Cajun turkey.
Nice.
And pastrami.
Okay,
And I think we're going to go pastrami and Swiss. And with the Cajun turkey, probably like a jalapeno or like a pepper jack.
Pepper jack.
And I'm going to have all like the garden is going to be kicking by then, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to bring a lot of tomatoes and lettuce and onion and stuff for BLTs.
You know what's another good thing on sandwiches?
What's that?
Cucumbers.
Are you having a good year in cucumbers?
I'm having a ton of them.
We're not having a good year in cucumbers.
Huh. I mean, I think I had 7 plants on them. 15 survive.
Okay.
But they're all, but I am kind of watering the snot out of them.
Okay.
I run a soaker hose to them.
Yep.
So it just hits the roots.
So you have a lot of cucumbers. I may have to borrow some cukes. Other than that, we're going to be solid. And our jalapenos didn't do as well this year.
No, my peppers have not done well. Except for the one that I did get. Woo, doggy. That was hot.
Spicy. Huh? Did you take the seeds out?
No, I just...
Yeah.
I was just going to eat it raw. What
are you trying to prove, sir?
Well, I'm just kidding. I had to get a feel. I had to get a feel because my dad would always say that temperature, if you have certain hot days in the growing process, because, you know, we had some when they were first flowering, it creates hotter peppers. I don't know. I think it's true.
Okay. Hot peppers. What do you think, Alistair? That's an episode. I'm Chris Husted.
I'm Jason Renner.
We're going to kick it next time here on Review Your Gear Radio.
Thanks for tuning in to Review Your Gear Radio. Be sure to tune in next episode, and don't forget to check out reviewyourgear.com. Also check us out on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Till next time, tight lines and good times in the outdoors.